Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 86, recorded on June 13th, 2018. I am Clyde. Today I'm joined by Matthew Ross.
Hello everybody.
And Michael Aston.
Hello, Clyde.
And no Jimmy.
And everybody else.
Yeah. Where's Jimmy?
Moment of silence for Jimmy.
Oh. Do we need to pour a little out for him?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Hey, I don't think he's actually dead, so no.
Okay, good. No. Just making sure.
He might be dead tired from work. But,
okay.
When he's done, but yeah. But hey, okay, you guys made it, so rock on. How you guys doing?
It's school's almost out. We're gonna kick the kids out on Friday, and then the real work begins. We're gonna, string wires everywhere and redo labs, and it'll be fun.
Still have one more. It's still going.
Our school district is going through the last of this week, and then it'll be done. So
that is a really late school year.
For some reason, I don't know why, but every year they decide they make basically send out some options for the calendars, and then everybody kind of votes on what they want and make a decision on that. So that's what we got.
Because people in Washington want a longer winter break.
No.
The weather's so nice.
Well, the good thing is it's per school district. It's not every school district gets to decide their own.
Oh, really?
If it was like across the whole state, that'd be crazy decisions. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's. I don't even know what to add to that.
The schools are weird. That's what it is, and it's just kind of the crazy thing that people have to go to school for anything anyway. Sorry,
there's no point in it. It's not like it's going to help you get a job. There aren't going to be any jobs
anymore. That's kind of starting to get that way.
So
higher learning, that is.
So let me give you the pitch to people. They go, what? Especially kids. They say, why do we have to go to school? Well, your kids really need to play. Your parents really need somewhere for your kids to be during the day. So they basically have you there, and while they have you there, maybe they'll have you exercise some, and maybe they'll teach you something while you're there, and maybe they'll feed you, and maybe they'll make sure you keep safe and give you some time to play, and do all those things, and straighten you out when you're not in line. And do all those good things for you. Maybe that's what school's for.
It's 12 years of what I tell my kids, it's 12 years of very expensive babysitting. And I better get my money's worth. Because it ain't free.
Okay. That's true.
That's true.
It isn't technically free. Yeah. But okay.
All right. Should we get into something that actually people are here to listen to us complain about?
This isn't. Let's talk about schools weekly.
It can be, but I'm afraid everybody's going to run away screaming.
Okay, well then maybe we should talk about Amazon. Amazon has come out with a new Fire TV device. The Cube is officially out. It is basically your mixing of your Amazon Fire TV stick or just set-top box and an Amazon Echo, which means you'll be able to talk to it and tell it to show videos, do different your normal Echo things, use a remote to control it like a normal device, and then mixing the two things together. Other than a couple of sending messages capabilities, it has the full functionality of both devices, and it's on sale now.
I don't know what to think about it. I like that they're building in more of the Echo. Oh crap. Yeah, I broke everybody.
Ow.
But yeah, I guess this is for your living room and your living room only. Not meant for anywhere else. kind of like the Echo Show. Is that the one with the screen?
Yes.
That's meant for like your bathroom and your kitchen and nowhere else.
Don't put the Echo Show in your bathroom. Just
Why not?
don't do it.
You don't like to do Skype calls when you're sitting on the throne?
Nope, it's not the place. Nope, it's not the place.
Well, you just put a green screen behind you so they don't know what you're actually doing.
Wait a second. Are you saying this whole time you've been... No. Don't say
Well,
it.
it's the most comfortable spot in the house. Why wouldn't you?
Oh.
So I'm really excited about this. Not Skyping from the throne, but the Amazon Cube Fire TV Cube. I already ordered it. The day after this came out, the day after we ran last week, and I already ordered it. It will be here on like Wednesday of next week or something like that. So I'm very excited, and I ordered it with a package that comes with one of their webcam things, so I can hook that up, and I'll be able to just tell my TV, you know, hey, show me the front door or whatever, wherever I put that, and it'll bring that up actually on the TV utilizing the Fire TV and the Echo /A integration. So I'm really excited about it. I am a big fan of the Fire TVs. I've been using Fire TVs as my predominant streaming device here in the house for quite a while, and I was less excited about the last one I bought. I bought the middle one, so I had the Fire TV that's the box, and I bought the one that's the little triangle, and it's only like that big, right? That thing is not as good as the one that I had before, that was the previous generation. The newer one is smaller, and I think that it gets hotter or it just runs a little bit slower because of the size. So the older one actually seemed to be a little bit better in my opinion. Excited to try this one out. It's a little bit bigger and adds the voice integration. Hopefully it will be better and integrate nicely.
Yeah. So this is an awesome integration of the two services, and if you're into the Amazon ecosystem, this is like perfect. I mean, this is the thing. This is the correct marriage of the two technologies, and it's not that much more expensive. How much are they asking for it? I think it's on sale at first for a cheaper price, but eventually it's like $130 is what they're asking for. That's not bad. The Google's competition to this that isn't out released yet is the JBL soundbar. It's essentially the same thing, except for it also integrates a soundbar. So I'm curious about that. So
Amazon also has the Beam soundbar.
Oh yeah,
it's Alexa equipped. I don't know much about it. I do know that Sonos supports it, but I so. Yeah, I don't know if that'll work with the Cube or if that's meant to be like a competitor for the Cube. But
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Mike thinks once he gets it. I know when it comes to the Fire ecosystem, he drank the Kool-Aid and he's happy. So.
That's right.
It'll probably get a better review than if I got it, so I think it'll be in good hands.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think is really cool about this is that it comes with like an IR blaster. Mm-hmm. So it provides full integration for controlling all of those other devices and stuff. So
what was funny is when I heard this thing initially, announced, I was like, you just described the original Google TV. Minus the keyboard, but yeah. So I it's funny that stuff's kind of come full circle.
Yeah,
it always does.
Well, I mean, ultimately that's the way it always works, right? Somebody comes up with the good idea and they produce the product, but it's missing something. There's a key element of it that's not there that makes a huge difference. The thing about the Google TV and some of the other early kind of streaming devices was, there was not as many good solutions for getting your content. It was really a lot more limited. And B, now that we have tons of content, you add in voice control, which allows you to really manage all of your devices in a much easier way. So ultimately, even when you had like universal remotes and systems like that, it was always a pain because things didn't always work and whatnot.
And the voice control on the original or on Google TV was actually pretty good. That was one of those things that when everybody announced it later, it was like, we've had that on Google TV forever. Since like the second generation Apple or Google TVs. But yeah. But no, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how this works. So
yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I don't know, when's the 21st? So I'll actually get it the day after we do next week's thing. So I'll get it a week from tomorrow.
okay.
So I won't be able to tell you anything about it next week, but the week after I will have used it for almost a week and we'll be able to give you a good review.
All right.
Very cool.
Rock on. And before we move on to our next story, I just wanted to say thank you, WScatus1, for the bits.
Indeed.
Take it away.
So Netflix is coming out with a new biopic next week, not next week, but soon, about the late singer and actor Rudy Ray Moore, starring who's
Eddie
this
Murphy?
guy? Eddie Murphy. I don't think I know who that is. I don't know who that guy is.
When I saw the announcement, I thought he was dead to Hollywood. Didn't he like do some terrible like stuff along the lines of the Cosby allegations, and then like he dropped off the face of the earth? But
Not that I heard.
Yeah, I don't think I don't recall
something
anything
happened. Something
that.
happened, and I thought he was dead to Hollywood. I'm glad to see he's back, I guess. Maybe
It
they
seems
just
like his mistake was that he got too much into the kid movie thing, right? With the Nutty Professor and the what was the other one that he did where they keep
Donkey.
talking to animals?
Oh yeah, but no, he was Dr. Dolittle.
Dr. Dolittle. Yeah. And so those things, they just don't appeal to the movie industry. It's kind of like who was the guy from Greece that he did those kid movies and he disappeared from Hollywood for like 10 or 15 years. John Travolta.
Mr. Scientology pilot?
Yeah, so he did the Look Who's Talking movies, and that was the end of it, right? He disappeared from Hollywood for 10 or 15 years, and then he came back and he started doing gritty action movies again, and maybe Pulp Fiction was his reintroduction to being an adult. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to this movie because I've seen a lot of the movies that this guy starred in. It was like the Dolomite character and a lot of the blaxploitation movies that he did. I don't know anything about him shaping the modern rap scene or influencing hip hop pioneers like it says in the article, but
Maybe he did.
I liked his movies. They're the kind of thing that we might watch some Saturday at a movie party.
Maybe.
But yeah, so rock on.
So, if I remember correctly, I believe that Eddie Murphy said that he did his adult style humor for a while, and then he went ahead and said, "Okay, my kids are growing up. I want to have a series of movies that I can take them to." And then after a while, and then after enough Shrek movies, I'm sure he had enough money. He just took a break. Poor guy. Yeah. And now he's on his way back.
Yeah, well, his kids are adults now, probably, right? So now he can start doing more mature movies.
All right. Rock on.
Stranger Things is getting themselves a new series, a new season coming up, and in order to have a kind of a little something to fill in between, they're also producing a novel. This novel is going to particularly focus on Eleven's mother and how she became her state of being.
I don't know if I'm interested.
You know, I actually Stranger Things has got a rich enough kind of a story that, you know, there's obviously unwritten background, whether it's unwritten anywhere and just in guys' head or in people's heads, or, you know, the Duffer Brothers' heads, or it's something they've actually got plans to do and bring it all out one other way. And so there's plenty they can explore here that could be fun, and it was a great series. So yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's a bad idea or something they shouldn't do. I mean, they own Miller World, which is a publishing outlet, so absolutely use it. I just don't think I'm the target demographic.
I am. I love movie. I love this series, and I love good books, and I love this world and everything that they've created there. So I'm excited for it. I will definitely give it a try. Once I've read it, I'll report back on that one as well. As soon as it comes out, I'll have it.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's going to be a novel. I would have expected more of like a comic book or a graphic novel. But yeah,
a graphic novel would be even better in my opinion. But
which either way, it would still put it outside of my interest, just because I don't typically read those. But yeah, they went a different direction than I would have expected, and rock on. You know,
Very cool.
more content for the fans. Can't go wrong.
All right. Well, I've got an interesting streaming service for you guys. Right now, if you are a gamer, you can get a cool service called PlayStation PlayStation Now, which is a streaming service for playing games on your PlayStation 4. Well, it looks like the Microsoft guys are going to try to do the exact same thing for your Xbox, which will be a streaming gaming service that will be able to stream games over onto your Xbox console. Interestingly enough, it's been said by some developers that they think that next generations of new console hardware will be the last generation of new console hardware. After that, it's all going to be streamed. So what do you? So I'm just curious. Do you think having dedicated gaming hardware with a local connection and having everything available to, even if you're offline, is a good thing, or do you think, nah, just make it so I can just play with my phone? I'll be fine.
Let me put it this way. Let's go back about 10 years ago, and they said people buying physical movies is a thing of the past. Everybody's just going to stream it. And most people said, "You're crazy."
It's funny,
and I think we're finally there, where the average user has the appropriate bandwidth necessary now, which they didn't in previous. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next generation, if the next generation is streaming only, or at least no physical media, download with the download option, kind of like we can do with like Vudu and, you know, movies and stuff. But I guarantee that the version after the next one, there's going to be no physical media at that point. So you're talking now like 10 years into the future minimum for the next thing after the next thing. So yeah.
I'm inclined to agree with W. Scottus. He said that it's too early, and I agree with that. The thing is that while most people have pretty good internet now from a pure bandwidth perspective, latency issues can still be pretty noticeable, and they are far more noticeable when you get devices farther away, right? So in order to have something like this work well, they would have to have multiple data centers for the streaming devices to exist in. And they would have to be very diffuse, which seems cost prohibitive, right? So to have one in almost basically every state, maybe multiple in larger states like Texas, in order to get that latency to a reasonable amount of time. On the other hand, certain games would go very well for this, right? not all games need sub 10 millisecond latencies, which you would have to have that to be able to pull off like first person shooters and stuff. Nobody's going to be okay with a first person shooter with 100 millisecond latency.
And that's why I'm saying I think the physical media is going away, and it will at the very least be going to a download digital version only.
Yeah, and we're really close to that with like Steam and stuff like that. Like how many? I haven't bought a physical game. I bought like maybe 3 physical games in the last 2 or 3 years, and about double that many digitally, right?
Yeah, and I mean the biggest hurdle up until recently was storage space, and now I mean gigabyte, or I can't even talk. Terabyte drives come stock now, up to multi-terabyte, which those drives are just getting cheaper and cheaper. And everybody knows that games run so much better when they're read directly off of the disk or off of the internal hard drive than off of a spinning disk. I mean, that goes all the way back to the original Xbox and my PS2, where I would copy all my games directly onto the installed hard drive and just take them with me. So
yeah. Well, the other thing is, bandwidths are getting so high now. Like, as I'm moving, when I got signed up for internet with Spectrum, the best that they could do for me here was like 40 megabit per second, and that's only been 2 years, a year and a half ago. Now they don't offer anything less than 200 in the new house that I'm moving to. Yeah. And it's the same neighborhood. So I'm actually have been upgraded to 200 without even realizing. Yeah. So the other side of that is that now I don't even have to worry about having that on my terabyte drive, because if I want to delete it, no big deal. Even if I have to re-download it, it's only going to take 30 minutes to download my multi-gig file.
Yeah, and like with the PS4 right now, the PS4 has ridiculous download times, but that's a self-imposed barrier. That is not because of network limitations.
Right.
And the idea of needing multiple data centers spread out is not new. I mean, that's what Netflix did, and everybody said, "Oh, it's crazy, you can't do it," and yet they do. And I mean,
prohibitive early on, but
it can be.
Like
but
Microsoft can handle that.
I mean,
right?
if they're already providing streaming services, that then they're just constantly start rolling those out. Because like let's say the PS5. They made the announcement that the next version of the PlayStation, we're looking at 3 to 4 years, right? They made that announcement a few weeks back. So they've got 3 to 4 years to get that infrastructure up and ready to go in preparation, maybe even more. So, but yeah, I think the days of physical media is done, to my chagrin. But I don't think there'll be 100% streaming at that point.
Yeah, I don't think streaming is ever going to go away. Actually having gaming hardware is ever going to go away fully. I think we're always going to have some dedicated units for some things. It doesn't matter how good the streaming is. You're still going to have people who either can't because they can't stay online or don't have fast enough bandwidth or whatever. There are going to be people who want to have that local copy. So
I'm the kind of person that I would love to see this happen and have it be good, because I would much prefer to have some dumb box that is basically just a internet connection and have that be my device, because the key here is you no longer bear the burden of the cost of upgrade, right? So keeping on top of a top-end PC or console gets very expensive, and it's something that if you want to keep on top of it, you're spending money on a regular basis. I imagine something like this where you would sign up for, Microsoft's gaming service and pay, a small premium monthly to have top end gear streaming or rendering your stuff, so you can run your game on ultra and have it be streamed on ultra high settings, and you don't have to shell out $3,000 for a PC every 6 months or every 2 years.
What's funny is we're having this conversation, but we didn't actually talk about the Microsoft story, because the Microsoft story was specifically talking about being able to play the games across any platform, whether it be your phone or your computer or your console. Is there. And I thought they announced this back with the Xbox 360 launch. I thought they had rolled this out at some point. I'm surprised to find out they didn't already have a match to the PlayStation Now.
I don't remember any announcement about this back then, because I think they were back then in 360 and PS3 days. It was like, oh no, why would you stream anything? You've seen on live, it's horrible.
This was with the Xbox One announcement. But yeah.
I find that less interesting, and here's why. The idea of playing games on my phone that I would play on my TV or my computer doesn't make any sense. That's me personally. If I want to play a game on my computer, it's because it is a large interactive game where I need a mouse and a keyboard, or at least a controller, and I want to have a big screen and stuff. The things I play on my phone and would be willing to play on my phone are totally different types of.
See, and that's one of those things that's very subjective, because I know a friend of I would like, let's say Hearthstone. Hearthstone's a card game. I won't play it on anything but my desktop. But my friend of mine, he only plays it on his phone. And there are like first-person shooter games that he just plays on his phone because that's the platform he likes, because it's the most convenient. And it just I don't get these services either, but I'm not the target demographic because I'm not a big gamer. So it's more options for more people.
So I actually did try the OnLive service, and I actually liked it. And so I'm one of those, like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. I can't believe that this actually works so well. And sure, there might be latency, but I really can't tell. And so the idea is cool, and I like it. So this is going to take a lot of hammering out to figure out how to make it work. And here's the thing: in other countries, there's very popular things that do just this. There's actually programs that do this right now. I believe that you can get services to do that, to actually do the virtual machine right now with forget the name of the software that I used to try that. But there are options out there right now today. So this could work. It's just I don't think it's going to be the only thing. I think it's going to be an option.
Yep. All right.
So, speaking of video games, did you know that there's now a possibility that you'll be able to be watching your Netflix and your YouTube on your Nintendo Switch? There's a rumor it's actually going to happen, thanks to a nice little mistake released by Best Buy on a product page.
Wasn't this already? I swear that like Netflix was available on the Switch like 6 months after launch, or at least that's what it was supposed to be.
I believe that was Hulu, because they are on
it.
But other than that, that's the only streaming service that is available on it right now.
Huh.
The other thing was that apparently some people would figured out a way to force a browser to open, and then using the browser to try to do stuff like Netflix, like Hulu, Netflix, and it was like basically forcing a redirect on a help page to go to the page you wanted to. It was really bad, but it's not really officially there right now. So.
Okay. Well, it's about time. That's all I had to say. Nintendo, it's about freaking time. I mean, your platform's already old at this point. People are ready for the next thing.
Speaking of the next thing, YouTube is teaming up with the 2018 World Cup, and they are going to be providing a version of it online in Spanish for those people out there with Telemundo. They're working with Telemundo to provide close to real time video highlights and in Spanish on the big game for people who love the game. Not counting me. Anybody here really loves soccer or football?
Bueno. Yeah, rock on. Who here really loves soccer in Spanish? Yeah, okay.
There are probably plenty of people who do, just not us.
It's a good sport. There's nothing wrong with it. It's as good as any other sport.
I like it better than American football.
Oh,
I'll put it that way.
Part of me likes
soccer player. Oh, never mind.
Part of me likes the gladiatorial.
This almost
sport
got
version.
political.
Okay.
Moving on.
Speaking of getting political, MTV is making a live-action version of Aeon Flux. You guys remember that cartoon?
Yes, I do, and I actually kind of like the movie.
Latex is going to be.
I was going to say, I remember the live-action movie of Ion Flux with Charlize Theron, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that movie.
Charlize there.
Yeah. I wonder how close is it going to be to the MTV show, because that was weird
and messed up. Yeah, that was messed up.
And messed up. The movie was okay, but it was very muted for wider audiences. And
I mean, the movie was visually similar, tone-wise totally different.
Yes, they toned it way down to make it more suitable and palatable by a wider audience. Yeah, because I remember when Aeon Flux wasn't even like its own standalone show. It was part of Liquid Television.
I remember.
Like and 2-minute clips between throughout the evening or whatever. Yeah.
And then it was I actually kind of want to go back and watch Aeon Flux. It's been so long. Rock on.
Yeah. All I remember from MTV back then was the MTV's, I forget what the show, the Electronica show was in the middle of the night that I used to listen to. It was pretty good. Anyways, moving on. Amazon has started leaking or letting out a little bit more news about their big Lord of the Rings series they've been coming out with. Basically, it's a little bit of details that they're not starting from scratch. What they're going to be making, they're not going to be trying to remake everything starting all over. But they also don't want to basically remake the movies. So what it sounds like they're saying here is that they're going to go ahead and take a big influence from the movies in making their series. So it at least feels like it's similar to what the movies got you, at the same time telling different stories. Also, they're in talks with getting Peter Jackson involved in it, but not necessarily running it. Because if you need hobbits, who do you run to? You run to Peter Jackson.
And possibly filming in New Zealand as well. So,
that would make sense.
Obviously, still working out a lot of details, but it sounds like they want to keep a lot, or at least as much as reasonable, similar between the films and this series.
I agree.
I have nothing to add on this, so.
Okay, let's move on to a really big story. The judges have decided it is okay for AT&T to purchase Time Warner.
All right.
Oh boy. Are you okay with AT&T, which owns DirecTV now, and will also own things like the Warner Brothers movie series and HBO?
Comcast owns NBC.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
So far it's been okay.
Now this is different than the Time Warner Internet, though, right?
Yes.
So,
yep.
This is Time Warner TV station, not Time Warner Internet provider.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to see these kinds of things happen because, especially in these areas, we don't have that much competition. And anytime you reduce competition on a large scale like this, it's somewhat concerning. However, at least they're not merging the only 2 internet services that I have available. That would really make me unhappy.
So it's interesting that AT&T and Time Warner were saying that this is a deal they want to have happen because they really wanted to compete against Netflix, which is an interesting choice. I mean, you wouldn't think it would be anything else. Netflix.
I don't get how that works.
HBO is the best thing to compete against Netflix in that comparison because
well,
HBO
I was
going to
say because this would make sense to compete against Comcast because AT&T and Comcast are already direct competitors.
Yeah,
because you've got AT&T's Uverse, and then Comcast owns NBC, so AT&T buys Time Warner. Okay, level playing.
Conceptually, think about it, right? Like, what is Netflix? Netflix is the production company and the distribution medium. So that's what they're trying to accomplish. AT&T is currently the distribution medium. Netflix or Time Warner is the production company. So by merging those 2 companies, you now have a company that specializes in distribution with one that specializes in content.
Stop making arguments that make sense, especially when I don't like it.
But so here's the thing. Ultimately, this is the death knell for everything Time Warner because, in my opinion, AT&T is one of the, I don't know, I don't want to say anything that could get me in trouble, but I am not a fan of AT&T.
Okay.
I've had a lot of unhappy experiences with them, and every time I ever interact with them, I walk away swearing I will never deal with them ever again for any reason whatsoever. And usually it takes about 3 or 4 hours from the time I sign a contract or sign up with them before I want to run screaming and beat my head against a brick wall for making that same stupid mistake again. So I feel bad for Time Warner and all of their employees because they're not joining an organization that is known for their customer service and quality.
You never know. AT&T may ditch their people in favor of the Time Warner people, which is who just did that?
I don't think it's the people, right? Like, people aren't the problem. It's the company's processes and procedures.
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about. Because that just happened recently, and everybody from the company I hate. So a company I didn't like bought a company I did like. Oh, it was Level 3. When CenturyLink bought Level 3, and it was like, oh crap, because I kind of actually liked Level 3 and I hate CenturyLink. And then I was talking with the rep from Level 3, and he said, oh, no. All the CenturyLink people got axed. All the CenturyLink processes got axed in favor of adopting Level 3. So basically, CenturyLink bought Level 3 and became Level 3, and maybe they'll do that here, but who knows?
That might be good. I mean, I've not found Time Warner to be amazing, but I've only interacted with the Time Warner cable and so I can't really make any assessments about what they do for interactions from a production side standpoint. But.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is this shed, I think, makes it a lot more probable that the T-Mobile buying Sprint thing's going to go through too. So
let's talk more mergers.
We need 4 big companies, so let's just get it over with. And
I mean, I just want to. If they just stop the stupid Sprint commercials, where it's good enough. No, it's not. Good enough is not good enough. But yeah, all right.
So we should continue talking about more mergers because also Comcast has decided to put a bid up for what was it? The Fox properties and for $65 billion, which is a huge amount more than what Disney was offering, only $52 billion only for the same properties. So it's a bidding war. More people trying to merge. This is getting crazy. I personally believe that all this is happening. All these companies are working to get together and do these things because we're seeing a lot of these middlemen being eliminated due to things like cord cutting and the internet, to have basically making a more even playing field. So everybody feels like they got to make themselves get as much property as they can in order to feel like they can stay afloat on this new playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said,
Who do you want to win, Comcast or Disney?
Well, here's the difference, because Comcast is offering $65 billion cash, where Disney offered $52 billion in stock.
Yeah, I mean, also from a regulator perspective, right? Comcast is a lot more appealing from a regulatory merger than Disney, right? Because Disney already owns so much of the production of content for us. So merging Fox in just removes one more production company. Merging Comcast and Fox does the same thing as what AT&T is doing, which is, it merges a distribution company with a production company. So,
and I just thought of something. So, I mean, with the Disney deal, the main thing that I was worried about is the future of Hulu, because it is a direct competitor to what Disney is wanting to do. Hulu would be fine if Comcast bought it, because right now Comcast is not allowed to. They had to give up their control when they purchased NBC. So right now they have no say in, they're part of Hulu. They participate in Hulu, but they don't have any say in the direction of and decisions that Hulu makes. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. This merger, if Comcast gets Fox, it doesn't actually reduce competition in any areas, right? Same thing with the AT&T Time Warner merger. This makes sense. I don't like it, but I also, $65 billion seems like a tremendously large amount of money for Fox.
Yeah,
I mean, really, what has Fox got?
They were not only getting catalog, they were getting production for like movie production, and all of that.
Movie production studio. So that's a little better, but
yeah. I'd have to go back through. Let's see. It says for everything that it agreed in December to sell to Disney, which let's go to that, which was large chunks of the Fox. So it was notably, the list of what it won't take was shorter.
Right.
The Fox News cable channel would stay.
Yep.
The broadcast network and Fox Sports
would
stay, and so then essentially they would be getting
the properties.
They would be getting the properties and the movie studio.
Yep.
Which means, which was good for Disney, because then X-Men and Final Four, the whoever, what are they? The Fantastic Four. Would finally be back with Marvel, but if Comcast gets it, then...
Also, Disney wants to clean up the weird distribution problem they have with the original Star Wars, which is a Fox distributed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Notably, this also would include their share of Hulu. So, as you mentioned, Hulu, and that's really important because of Hulu's dominance.
But that's what I was saying. That was why I was worried. If Disney buys it, Disney's most likely would have the controlling share. They're already a member. They would have controlling share of Hulu and have the ability to shut it down because it's a direct competitor with what Disney has already announced. Whereas Comcast, currently, even if they are controlling, they have even more of a controlling share. They're not allowed to give any input as part of the agreement made when purchasing NBC. So therefore, it doesn't matter. They have to just keep going as a silent, even though they're the massively majority shareholder, and so that's better for Hulu in the long run, or better for Hulu fans, I think. But yeah. Rock on.
All right. Hey,
No,
go ahead.
No.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and say that there's a cool new show coming on to your Netflix channel, and it's basically do you remember when they did that test run of interactive stories on Netflix? Well, they've hired the guys from Telltale Games to put the Minecraft story mode show basically on it. So if you've ever played the Minecraft story mode on any of the consoles or on the PC, you're essentially going to get the exact same thing directly in your Netflix feed.
So what they're going to do is they're just basically going to take all those story mode cutscenes, stitch them together, Netflix show. Hey, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Maybe, I don't know, but no. Have you ever played any of the Telltale games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually done the Minecraft story mode. That's why I was commenting on it. So
I've seen only parts of episode 1 of that, but it does this could actually be easily done. It's basically a branching tree system. You could do the whole thing with the streaming service pretty easily. So yeah, this definitely could work, and the more people will play those games, the better, because they're good games.
Yeah, I mean it was entertaining and decent quality, and so that's why I was thinking. Yeah, they just took all the cutscenes and stitched them together.
Yep,
you've got a good show. So with very little work, good ROI.
All right. So something that's coming to Plex is the traditional grid look to your live TV, which, if you ask me, I prefer. I know I'm one of the weird ones who actually like that. That means that right now, if you go ahead and log on to the web version with an updated server, because mine isn't updated and I didn't see it yet, you will be able to see a grid version of your TV streams if you connect your Plex to the live TV service somehow. So pretty cool if you ask me, especially since I like to be able to see what's on now and what's coming on and on certain channels, sorted by channels. It seems to be the way my brain thinks because I'm an old fogey.
Yeah, this is the reason this has done so well and stuck around so well is because it is a very efficient way to provide this information. And other attempts at providing the same information are less effective. I've seen them in PlayStation View and other things, and this traditional model is far superior in my opinion. So good for them making the right choice, I think.
Yeah,
we'll start seeing this on other platforms too, and so this will be a good thing for us guys who like watching TV.
I personally look forward to not having to look at a TV guide at all and just asking for the show that I want or the channel that I want, and not have to search because
you're getting your Fire TV Cube, so you'll be fine.
All right.
Okay.
Actually,
I think that was
I want to back up just a minute because I missed Media King 909. I think it was in regards to when I was talking about Comcast right now is not allowed to. They gave up their rights to dictate how Hulu works as part of the Comcast or the purchase of NBC. And he said, that provision is ending soon, isn't it? And it might be ending soon, but I am willing to bet if that goes through and they're able to buy Fox, they'll probably get slapped with another or be forced into agreeing to something similar because now they have even more control of that same entity that they were prevented from exercising. So if they just let it end and they purchase Fox, I'd be very surprised that both of those happen. So
back on that story, I'm hoping personally that they actually make some type of deal, like Disney gets the parts they want. Like they let them get their the Star Wars distribution back for the original series. Let them buy the. You don't do it. Okay.
No, those are the things that Comcast needs to get. They can have Disney have everything else. They just want the things that Disney wants.
You want to see it messed up. Okay. You want to see this field of of Marvel not being able to use their own properties because they're owned by another company. You like to see that?
I don't care because
Okay.
I'm not a player in that.
Okay. Well, and with that is the end of our news for this week, everybody. Hope you enjoyed.
All right. With that, I think it's time to check in with the Big Voice Jay and see where we're at in the...
Welcome to your BT Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of June 11th, 2018. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. Today, I wrote a song about a tortilla. Actually, it's more of a rap. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Walking Drunk is in last place with $47.9 million. Team The VOD Squad's in 5th place thanks to strong debuts from Hereditary and Ocean's 8, bringing their total to $69.4 million. Team Movie Party's in 4th place with $343.8 million. Team Retro Misery's in 3rd place with $373.7 million. Team Game Night is in 2nd place with $419.4 million. And in 1st place, on their way to $1 billion, it's Team Have a Drink with $736.4 million. That's your Movie Draft Minute. All totals are accurate as of Wednesday, June 13th, 2018.
All right. Well, I think it's safe to say that I don't think anybody's going to catch Have a Drink.
No?
But
You don't think so?
No. But 2nd place, Here I Come, here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Because if you look, the Incredibles, right now they're at like 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. And everybody that has seen it has glowing reviews. But the same thing can't be said about Jurassic Park. Crap. Who has Jurassic Park?
We do.
Ooh.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
The VODs.
Yeah. Oof.
Everything I heard about it is amazing. It is the single best movie you have ever seen in your life. I've heard critics say it's a critical masterpiece, and I've heard fanboys say it's exactly what I imagined the best version of this movie could be.
I heard there's this guy, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Tom Merritt. He went,
No, you misinterpreted that. That was should I not go see it?
No.
Only if you don't like awesome.
I just mean it's not going to be the Infinity War killer but
So, based on previous films and how much money they made, and it actually could make a decent amount of money. I don't think we can count it out yet. And also, being a movie being good has not stopped a movie from not making a lot of money. And a movie being bad, as plenty of bad movies have made lots of money. So
yeah, I think it's going to make Solo money, and I'm say it's probably not going to make much more than Solo money.
So Jurassic World made 650 million gross in theaters.
Yeah.
So I expect it to do at least as well as like the Jurassic, one of the other middling movies, so 250 million.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying. Like Solo, it's going to be like make Solo money.
Okay.
It's actually it was getting, from when I last looked at people, it's got kind of the same mixed reviews as Solo, with a little bit less marking. Whereas I think Solo's like if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, Solo's around 65 to 70, I think, and then Jurassic World is like 10 points below it or something like that. But
yeah, I think that this will do better than Solo did, noticeably so. And the reason I say that is that the buzz I've heard from like normal people has been more optimistic about it than about Solo. So the things I heard about Solo were pessimism and caution. I don't remember hearing very many.
But you're talking about expectations, not actual people seeing it.
That's right.
No, and I'm talking about the people coming out of it that have actually seen it at this point.
Right, but this is the thing. Expectations drive results, and Solo has done rather well from literally every single person that I've talked to that's seen it. However, expectations were so poor that it has not recovered from those expectations, despite the fact that, for all intents and purposes, it should be doing far better than it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I
talk.
hope it does well, but
I want to talk a minute
Also-
about. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, well, never mind. I'll save it. Go ahead.
I wanted to talk just for a minute and say that Ocean's 8 came out with a fairly strong weekend, with a little under 50 million this weekend, so we will be making a decent amount of money on that. Will we make the 190 that I'm hoping it would make, 190 million? Don't know at this point. Probably not. The Hereditary actually came out with a pretty good weekend for about a half of the theater's release. It made 17 million this weekend, and so that mistake of mine we might actually break even for us eventually. We'll see.
And so Solo is currently at 180, almost 100, and they're around 180. I'm still expecting to get to about 250.
Yeah, you should be fine with that.
So and that's about where I kind of expected it. Hoped that it'd be bigger. But yeah. And I looked back at the original Sicario, which is coming up in a couple weeks, the sequel that I have. The original one has like a 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I did not expect that. I don't know. I couldn't. I didn't dig far enough because I was at work. And I had
$46 million.
Really?
That's it?
Wow. Yeah. And I don't. Yeah. I know this one's going to be the one that's like breaks the market, and it busts into that 250, 300, and makes Benicio del Toro a household name.
So the other thing I have to say that I'm very happy about this is that we are no longer in last place.
Yeah, does Have a Drink have it? Yeah, Have a Drink has one more movie.
Yes, they
which
have
is
one
Crazy
more,
Rich Asians,
which could be a breakout hit or a dud. That is a total roll of the dice.
It could go really big in either direction, because there haven't been historically very many Asian-focused movies.
Right.
So, this might be the one that's like,
who knows?
They say
the book apparently was
time.
really big.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
And also, I actually have a feeling in my heart that there's a possibility the Walking Drunk could come back big time. I know they're currently in last place. I don't think Uncle Drew will do anything for them. I think they're going to do really well with Ant-Man. The big questions is the first Purge and especially the Slender Man, whether or not those make a big money for them. I don't know, but it could be a cult hit, that we don't know about. So.
I just realized this week, Predator doesn't come out till September 14th. Yep. That movie is dragging us all the way to the middle of September.
Yes, it is.
And
why did we let that on?
Like 2 weeks on it, because it's
there's gonna be just like
coming out right before the end of the movie draft. So
I blame W. Scottus one.
Is he the commissioner? I'm gonna write a complaint to the commissioner.
He commissioned it.
I had a lot of hope for Hereditary, and especially after looking at critical reviews and stuff like that, I'm a little unhappy with the fact that what I had hoped was it would be one of those movies that's got legs, right? Like it comes out, makes 15, 20 million, and then it keeps doing that week after week after week. Rotten Tomatoes score and the general public reception has been pretty miserable. Critics loved it, which should have been a bad sign to start with. Like, should have known any horror movie that critics like is going to be awful. But it's not doing so hot. So it concerns me. I'd had a little bit of hope that would make up for the fact that we didn't necessarily get the best bunch of movies. The Ocean's 8. So my rave is about Ocean's 8.
Oh, are we going to rants and raves already?
So are we ready?
I'm not sure. I think we're ready.
Okay.
So I did not see Ocean's 8 yet. But my wife did, and she loved it. And all of her friends went to see it, and they loved it. And my wife was saying, this is a movie I'll probably see again. So she might actually go see it again with some other friends that haven't seen it yet here this week. So she really liked it. I think it's good, and I would say maybe you should go see it. And in fact, I will say, unquestionably, no matter what, you should take your last dollar, if that's what it takes, and go see this movie. It is probably the single best movie you'll ever see in your life.
Maybe my attention span is way too sharp. But what was that movie?
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8. Oh, okay.
Yeah, also Hereditary is also amazing, I hear. Not really. But
I mean, Solo
it.
did prove to be a pretty good movie, so it's one of those things that you're going to want to, in 20 years say, yep, I bucked the trend and I saw it 5 times.
Wait until September 30th to do that.
When it's not in the theater anymore?
Yeah, it'll come back.
Oh, okay.
The re-release is the special edition.
I was going to mention, I rewatched, well, my daughter did a Star Wars marathon now that she's done with school. She rewatched all the movies over the last week, and I actually enjoyed most of them a lot more than I expected, specifically rewatching the last 2, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. They're really good. I liked Last Jedi. After seeing the movie, I kind of reminded myself of all the things that I didn't like about the movie. But then I watched it again, and I was like, I really enjoyed this. It was a good movie. It was, flawed as it may be, it's still just a really good movie. So, Solo, yeah, you probably should see it again after the movie draft's over.
Yep.
And as W. Scottisone and I were just talking about, I think we'll be drafting for the Winter Movie League before the Summer Movie League is done. So that'll be interesting.
We could just end the Summer Movie League a couple weeks early.
Yeah, I mean, that works for me. We just end it with August 24 weekend. Oh, and no, we are... Oh, crap. We have to go... So, by rules, we have to go typically 4 weeks past to give the movie. So, we're going into October.
No, that doesn't work. We just think...
According to the rules. Talk to that commissioner.
I never thought about that.
Is that the rule 4 weeks past the last movie?
Yeah, because otherwise the person with the last movie gets no return.
How did we let Predator get in there with the
I thought it was going to be in June or July. I didn't know.
I don't think, well, it's very unlikely that it will actually be able to make a big enough deal for them to actually. It's unlikely it'll make a big difference.
Yeah.
We will look at this as we get closer.
All right. Hey guys, I watched something this week, and
What you watch?
I loved it, and I didn't think I was gonna.
Oh, great! Now you're
Tanya.
really.
It was kind of great.
Tell more.
In a morbid kind of way, if you haven't watched it, it's very tongue-in-cheek, based on actual, based on actual interviews. So there's you can really kind of feel the genuineness in the absurdity.
Okay.
So I don't know how far off the reservation they went with it, but it was I recommend it. I definitely recommend it, especially when it's for free. I think I watched it on Hulu.
Okay.
And yeah, I did not think I was gonna like it at all, but it was really
man, I just can't watch that movie. I had far too much of that when it actually happened.
Well, I did too, and that's why That's why
So-
I was like, oh, hell no. But then there's the realistic version. Oh, yeah, I can't watch that. But this, I went into it as just, it needed to be something that was on the screen, whatever. I don't care about it. Well, I got sucked into it, and I was sitting here watching it the whole time. And I start it, and if you don't get through it, you know, no big deal, but at least start it, because I was hooked within probably the first 10-15 minutes, and it blew my mind. And there were some serious, like, gut laugh moments, just at the absurdity of the situation. And yeah, that is all.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Um,
so this weekend, well, this last week, it was like yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, but a friend of mine texted me and said, "Hey, you liked Spent Poets, didn't you?" In case you didn't know, Spent Poets is actually a band that came out with an album in the 90s, and I found them a long time ago. Maybe somebody else found them. I don't remember.
You
But
mean the Spin Doctors?
the Spent Poets are actually was one of the bass guitarists from Primus spun off and that made his own band called the Spent Poets, and they made an amazing album that was really very good. And he said, "Hey, I somebody posted onto YouTube their full second album that they never actually released, an unreleased album, and it's all posted on YouTube." So I went there and listened to it, and yes, it's the Spent Poets, and I really enjoyed it. There's a second album out there called Steve, and it's not as good as the first album, but it really got me back into the 90s, where it made me think about that. And so if anybody out there is looking for something a little different for alternative rock, for pop rock, not kind of pop rock, more alternative rock, I recommend finding the original The Spent Poets and listening to them. They're really hard. Sometimes it's really hard to find, but it's one of those bands that I really totally enjoyed that first album a lot. So
All right, rock on.
that's besides all the other stuff I've been doing. I also watched the first half of the Hitman's Bodyguard, and oh, that's funny. That's a funny movie. So I want to see the second half of it. We just got interrupted and haven't had the chance to finish it yet. So
Okay.
all right.
All right. Well, I think with that, we have come to the end of yet another episode. Just to remind you, if you're watching this after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central here on Twitch TV. Just go to the VOD Squad. If you join us live, you get the opportunity to add show title, suggestions, and vote on them, which we will, and then we're going to do here in the after show. And also, reminder, the June movie party is this Saturday at 9 p.m. We will be watching the 1932 movie Freaks. And the poll is up on Twitter for the companion movie. There's 1 day left, and right now it is 100% for Freaked. Did you guys see the movie Freaked back in 1993? I found it a few years ago, and it stars Brooke Shields, Alex Winter, Randy Quaid, and Mr. T as the bearded lady. Also, Bobcat Goldthwait plays a guy with a sock puppet for a head. I have a feeling this is going to be the first time it's 100% unanimous on a movie. But yeah, go out to twitter.com/DC Movie Party and make sure you vote for what movie we're watching. Go ahead and vote for Freaked, and we'll have a first time 100%. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And other than that, stick around, guys, for the after show where we just ramble and choose a title. And everybody else, see you later.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I just went to showabout.tv, tvs.showabout.tv, and there's nothing in there.
Yeah, there is.
There is?
Shame, W. Scottus 1 is to blame. Even Stranger Things. This week we blame W. Scottus 1.
That's right.
Skyping while on the throne. Amazon's Hobbit Hole. 20th Century Comcast with AT and Time Warner. That's you.
Yes.
iPoodle Puncher. And iPoodle Puncher needs to upload past episodes to YouTube. And yes, they are uploaded. They're just not made public. They're all there.
Let me try the different link. I'm still getting blank, so I can't make votes tonight. I guess I've been I'm abstaining tonight from any votes.
Here. I'm going to put a... Oh,
You've already got it. I've gone to the links, and it's there. I'm just getting blank.
The smart channel, the VOD squad, and everything.
there's
turn
one
off-
in the... Because...
Let me turn my ad blocker just for a second to see if it's
Yeah,
doing.
shift refresh it too. Try like doing a shift or control refresh.
Clear cookies.
There we go. They showed up. Okay, yay, can vote.
Hooray! Oh, W. Scottus 1, you're going to be immortalized in a title.
Where did that come from?
Oh, because we were blaming W. Scottus 1 for the movie draft overrun.
Yep. Yep.
And so
Oh.
I said, shame, W. Scottus 1 is to blame. I created the title, so I didn't actually say it out loud.
It's all right. And you guys missed all riveting before show chat about unions. Yeah, you didn't want to hear it. This is actually not interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
Clyde.
it wasn't really a discussion. It was just me saying I refuse to join unions.
Clyde did a great job, a great service to me. Is like I made a statement, and then Clyde's like, "And we're cutting."
Yeah.
And we begin.
Yeah. It was.
I can tell
I
that-
saw the time and I realized, crap, this could go for a
Yep.
really long time.
Yeah, we
And-
need to get
That was-
jokes going.
Matt was showing disagreement with the words I was saying, and then suddenly Clyde's like, "And we're going live. Too bad, Matt. You can't say anything." I was like,
Okay.
"Yep, I win."
Well, that's how you win an argument. You shut up. You shut up the competition and don't allow them
the
to
other
speak.
side speaking. You can't lose.
That's there's plenty of organizations that work that way. Let's say Occupy Everything, Only Certain Lives Matter. Yeah.
So let's pick our movie title first before we go on a huge political rant about everything.
Okay, Skyping while on the throne.
That or shame, just W. Scottus 1 is to blame.
I think W. Scottus doesn't want that one.
I
Uh-oh.
also really like Even Stranger Things.
Oh no, we've got Triggered Liberal 126. What up? Actually, I was at work, or I had lunch with Palo Alto this morning, or a breakfast this morning with Palo Alto, and we were discussing McAfee antivirus,
Oh.
and then I brought up, I was like, I said John McAfee as a dude, I kind of like him because he's such a weirdo, and because last election he had put his name in, he had put himself in for contention for the Libertarian nomination.
Right.
And I was kind of backing him because, for one reason and one reason only, I wanted him to get elected, and due to the government, what his software has done to computers for the last 30 years, bring them all to a screeching halt. And that's it. That's the only reason. But yeah. So are we going with Skyping while on the throne?
Right.
So W. Scottus One says it's up to us, but Skyping while on the throne, it sounds great, actually. That's,
I would typically opt for something that was provided by not one of us if there's an option. So W. Scottus One is an outsider. Win. So Skyping while on the throne. I'm gonna make that official.
Yep.
And yeah. Oh, and did you ever get over to thevodsquad.com?
In this case, W. Scottus One is to blame for a great movie title.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, and just a reminder, W. Scottus One is doing some game night, Fortnite shenanigans after this, so I'll do my best to raid us in there again. Is the Twitter or the Twitch live, Will? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did get to the VOD Squad webpage, and I see that that some changes were made, and they look really awesome. That's very true. I have not touched it in a while. I basically, as soon as we moved over to the doing this on Twitch, I kind of abandoned this for a little while.
Yeah, well, and then the problem was I wanted to bring it up to the new Google Pages standard, but then I found out, you can't connect your own DNS. You have to purchase their business, like, inside software. Yeah, because that's why Movie Party is hosted. Now it's thankfully being hosted and managed by MBeam. Because I set it up and made what I thought was decent using the new Google sites. Mm-hmm. And then found out, you can't. I can't point movieparty.net to there because
that's weird. I swear you can, but okay.
Nope, not with the new one. All the options are gone. You have to, it makes you go through and purchase their Skype for Business thing, which has storage and all kinds of stuff. And you have to use, if you want to use your own domain name and Google Sites, you have to use the old one. But yeah.
All right.
All right. I think that's everything. Oh. Yeah, I guess you could do a web redirect with URL clicking, but I tried that, but it wasn't working.
I'm looking at the instructions right now, and I'm seeing how you can set your own whatever you want.
Yeah, follow the instructions. It takes you to sign up for Google Business thing, and make sure.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got something to say after the
Well, I
camera
have
gets turned
something
off?
that I want to ask a couple of people after we're done.
Oh. Okay. So I think that's our cue for. Let's shut this down. I am going to raid W Scottus One. It says this channel is intended for mature audiences. So
yes, it is.
Raid. Oh wow, we're gonna raid with shame, and then a bunch of bombs. I don't know what the bomb thing is in chatty. So we'll just do shame. Okay. Well, never mind. I'm gonna shut this down so that we can do our thing. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Oh, there it is. So here we go. We're now hosting W Scottus One. So
thanks everybody. We basically are out now. We are no longer hosting. So, dude, I swear you can use whatever domain you want on the new Google sites. Mm-hmm.